Hey, Hendricks. Where are we again?
Singapore. One of my favorite places. Apart from all the ones I actually like. We've got an appointment with our new LNO inside the quarantine zone.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is a CIA op. This is their safe house.
Glad you remember. I hope you also remember how I feel about the CIA watching over our every move.
They're always watching, Hendricks. You should know that. I think you're just getting grumpier with age.
Alright, so hi everyone, welcome back to Black Ops 3, and today we're going to be doing our first real-ass mission. No more training, no more introductions to the game. And there are some things we need to go over real quick. First off, this is the first mission with thread-selected weapons. So what we have here are our weapon options that were suggested and one that was implied. So Rad had actually asked for our shotgun build here. Actually, everyone picked the MR6 because there is, well, was technically no option for a launcher or anything like that at the time. We fixed that. Eponymous has our can set up, so if we're lucky, we will not need to use our futuristic AK. Coffee Hitler had the BRM, so we have actually in these three here, we actually have a pretty decent selection of different weapon types. I was actually kind of surprised that that worked out the way it did. And if we look here, I built something for Scion. Now, if you watch the Black Ops 2 LP up to the end, you'd know that Scion selected probably my least favorite build in the history of the fucking world to do the last mission with. And that was a, it was called the Chi-Com CQB. It's a 3-round burst SMG and an Executioner, which is actually a shotgun pistol. Not exactly the greatest things in the world, and so what I've done here is kind of recreated that. Because there's no shotgun pistol in the single player, I just decided to take off my grenades, put no tac rigs on, put an EMP in there. It basically just absolutely completely fucking useless build, and the Pharaoh here is actually the spiritual successor of the Chi-Com. Wasn't suggested directly, but I figured, hey, why not? And finally, for just a 5th custom slot, if I get into a really tight situation, this build will probably get me out of it. Though you're probably going to notice that it's very, very similar to what Eponymous had here. So, with that out of the way, still have to talk a bit about cyber cores. So, people suggested these with their builds. Not really how it works in the game. So what we're going to do is, well, first off, I really wish I had held anything back to upgrade immolation just so I could do it. But electrostatic strike's going to be very useful soon. I mean, not to worry. Marshals here, people had a pretty good mix, but it was mostly Marshal that was winning out. So what we're going to do is we're going to use Marshal Cybercore for this mission. And real quick, let's jump over here to see what our record vault is telling us to expect. Looks like we've got mostly human forces here. A lot of medium range stuff, not a lot of long range, some close range. So most of our weapons are actually going to be really good for this. It should be pretty fun to do what we have here and use what we've been given. Of course, we have accolades to go through. These aren't too hard to get in some cases. I'm probably not going to get all the collectibles, of course. But let's jump in here. So, here's our weapon selection screen. You can see the cybernetics core is sort of kind of tied to just the match or the mission itself. So I'm not going to be able to change that throughout, or just as easily as I can change this stuff when I get to boxes. So that's why I was going to make that a vote. But I might just make that me buying and doing what I feel is best, depending on how this goes. So we're going to start off with Eponymous's setup here. And let's get into the mission finally. Took long enough, right?
Local CIA black station's gone dark, set up in the wake of the Singapore disaster. The station was tasked with keeping an eye on the local operations. Since the wall went up and the authorities abandoned evacuation efforts, the place has been pretty much run by the dominant criminal organization, the 54 Immortals. Tell me what you got from the CIA.
The data package covered the whole sordid history. Explosion at the old Coalescence facility killed 300,000. Evacuation and reclamation efforts were abandoned in the wake of the superstorms.
So what's so important here that the CIA has to send us in to investigate?
The Immortals have known links to the CDP and its allies. Weapons and tech smuggling, mostly.
No wonder the CIA are rebel.
Oh man, I can't even begin to tell you how good this tastes. After those nasty MREs we've been living on, this tastes like heaven.
You know, you could get a mod that would make everything taste good.
If I did that, I'd never get to appreciate the real thing.
Not fucking around, are we?
All right, this is as far as we go.
All right, let's get to work. In this lawless shithole, we can actually feel good about our by any means necessary mandate. When the full force of the storm hits, we'll be looking at 150-mile-per-hour winds. Take this. We wouldn't want you to get blown away. Kane, moving in to scramble the 54 Immortals' communication systems.
Copy that, Hendricks. Afraid I'm gonna need you to make a pit stop along the way. The Immortals have already breached the Black Station. They're prepping a shipment for transport at the docks.
Why would the Immortals attack a shantytown?
Well, they must have had something that they wanted.
If sensitive materials fall into the hands of the CDP, it could prove extremely damaging to the Winslow Accord. We're awaiting confirmation on a drone strike, but I need you to move to intercept. We have to be 100% sure.
Understood. We're on our way.
And that's the first we've gotten of our new CIA contact.
Stay low. The Immortals run a well-established trade in human flesh. They sell people for whatever purpose you may want them. That's why they attacked this shantytown.
What do you just put on his neck?
The collar makes sure they can't get away.
Hendricks, stand down. It's not our mission. There's not a lot we can do here.
We can kill this son of a bitch!
And just like that, Hendricks has started our first fight. This guy here is a Titan, and
I hear you.
nope, don't want to be anywhere near this guy. Well, not a Titan so much as a specialty enemy. Ah, fuck.
Double time! Hit him with the swarm launcher.
Let's try this again. I only have so many rounds of this micro missile launcher here. You can see this guy right around the corner.
Come on! Take that bastard out!
Yeah. Hold on. So there is an accolade, you may have seen it before we started this mission, to use the swarm launcher to kill 5 enemies at once. As you can see, not going well. They have to group up, not tightly, but well enough that I can hit them all. And right now they're not doing that. Jesus. And that guy just took how many of those things in the face? Alright. The other guys clear out pretty easily, though. As a matter of fact, we've gotten those things. And so yeah, that was just an introduction to how brutal the 54 mortals are, similar to the NRC torturing somebody, or a bunch of people, at the start of the level in the previous
That
mission.
was one tough son of a bitch.
Immortals can lay their hands on pretty much any weaponry and gear out there.
The Superstorm's winds are gonna hit harder as we move to higher ground. Get ready to plant that bolt driver and hold the fuck on.
Alright, so Hendrix just reminded us of the thing he gave us at the start. It looked like the mountain climbing pick.
Wind's picking up. Use the bolt driver.
So all you have to do is hold F, and it'll just pull you right back out. I keep forgetting if you have to...
Driver, now.
I always forget if you have to hold F the whole time you're in the position or not.
Use your bolt driver.
Pretty sure you do.
Brace yourself.
I honestly hate this fucking gimmick. Like, a lot. You can't run during this. You take random damage from wind stuff. You can actually miss this. You can miss that jump because of the wind. I find really fucking... So you're best left waiting for this. Should be about now. So yeah, that shit's annoying. I'm gonna get right off of this thing again, aren't I? Yep. Jesus Christ.
We are a go on drone strike.
We're live. Striking down. Negative effect. Incoming superstorm too strong.
Storm's only gonna get worse. Fuck it. Kane, we're going in.
Hendrix, hold position.
Yeah, I went looking for some stuff instead of hanging out with Hendrix when he broke through a door there. Looks like we have an option right down here.
These waves are gonna be a problem. Keep that bolt driver handy.
You can get sent right out because of the waves.
Waves hitting now. Use your bolt driver.
I'm holding F. Ah, there it goes. It will only do it when something's coming at you. Like I said, I don't like the gimmick. It just slows the level down. It makes certain things difficult to do. And the level's really nice to look at if you're not doing this.
Now might be a good time.
And he's kind of telling us here that we can do this. Alright, let's... Well, I'm fucked. Alright, here we go. I tried to use the rockets and get a little fancy there. It's not a great idea. God, there's no reason to use that thing ever either. Could have sworn Hendrix was already in here. And that is the power of the charge move. As someone called it, it was the knockoff Vanguard class they were building. I actually believe that was rad. And yeah, it does play a lot like the shoulder charge from the Vanguard class in Mass Effect 2. Not a bad thing in my mind. Alright. So, right now I'm doing a thing where I'm not paying attention to where I can go. Here we are.
Storm's getting worse. This AO's gonna be non-viable real soon.
Alright. Speaking of non-viable. Ah. Let's see if that hits him. Yeah, there it goes. I keep doing that. So to switch weapons, you have to use your mouse wheel on the PC. You can't use the control buttons. Although, the buttons do actually...
Worse. Activate tactical mode so they don't get the drop on us.
So the buttons, you know, the 1, 2, 3, 4 buttons, those are what control your visor modes, except for 4. 4 actually selects any special weapons you may have, which include that rocket gun. Yeah, I think the game sends a really weird message by doing that. I don't know why it does it. And that's not even getting into how certain things work in multiplayer with regards to launching weaponry. Because you don't have a visor mode or anything there, and so kill streaks work differently in multiplayer. Multiplayer and single player, despite the fact that they share weapons and some abilities from the cores, are very different beasts, which is kind of entertaining in a lot of ways. And we'll talk more about that when we get into multiplayer. Because, like, right now, I don't have a special jump, I can't wall run. No, I can wall run.
Now what? I need you to interface. I'll use your DNI to extract and delete the intel.
You can do that?
Your DNI is connected to our central database. All transmissions are logged and tracked.
Alright. Hack.
Files secured and redacted. Storm's getting worse. It's pushing a derelict tanker right toward you.
Got it. Thanks, Kane.
I'll take the upper deck. You take the lower. Ready?
Just checking. Hold on. I never know if there's anything special around here, so I always like to run around. Hey, remember breaching mode from other Call of Duty games? It's still in this game.
Storm's about to hit. Hang on! That ship's gonna tear up this dock like it's balsa wood. Jump to the boat. Go! Go now!
Subway tunnel up ahead. It'll take you right to the 54I communication hub.
It's a hell of a way to ride to it, right?
I think this is our stop.
Say what you want about Call of Duty games, they know how to throw a spectacle at you. And they also have some actually decent scenery. I like the little cloth effects on this thing here. The buoy and the subway tunnel just giving you an idea of how bad the storms are. There's just some really neat stuff in this game, and little neat details. And this is actually why I played it on PC, because you get all this stuff in there. PS4, some of the textures are a little blurry, and it's a whole thing. That's my elitism showing, I guess. Alright. Remember swimming? We learned how to swim.
We're approaching the comm center. We'll update when we've cleaned house.
Better make it fast. We're already getting word that intel detailing precise weaknesses in our allies' troop strength has been leaked to the CDP. This will inevitably lead to heavy losses on our side. We need to put a lid on this.
Understood.
So if you haven't picked up, looks like the 54I got some information out of us that we don't want them to have. And so that's what we're really going after here. Hey. It's our first mobile armory. So, I can actually switch out cores. I don't know why I lied to you about that. Now, most people actually wanted the Marshall core, so we'll stick with it here. But we've been using Eponymous's weapons here. I'm trying not to touch science. Let's switch to our shotgun. Might not be the best choice. May have a little bit of a tough time here, but I think it's going to be worth it. Now, the KRM is the pump action, so you can't just fire it as fast as you can pull the trigger, but it does the most damage per shotgun round, etc., etc.
I see you. Highlighting targets now. I'm gonna hit them with some fireflies.
Let's see how this goes. It looks like they have some combat drones you see there. There we go. The combat drones the 54I have, you can see, are not really as big or bad looking as the ones we faced earlier in the game.
Kill confirmed!
So,
Hostiles above and below.
You gotta like that little detail. It's not just the same robot 100 times over in this game. There's a few different types. So where do we want to go here? Personally, I'd rather be up top right now. Oh boy. Alright. I can't miss that many shots with this thing. It's a good shotgun, but it's not the best gun in the world, and it doesn't have infinite range. That's for damn sure.
Bastards have range! Hit them with some frags! Moving to second floor!
Yeah, we haven't thrown a frag in a little bit. I love the reload animation for the KRM. Like, they seem to have made a pretty good use of the futuristic setting of the game to do some really interesting things with weapons in this game. So, you gotta appreciate that much. Hey, there's the riot shield, guys. Unfortunately, no riot shields in the multiplayer. You can always shoot them in the feet if you don't have frag grenades at the moment. But not really much of an issue usually. And there we go. One of my least favorite things about this game at times is that the slide action doesn't always work. You have to get some momentum up before the game will let you slide. And I actually have a dedicated slide button. It's X. Because sometimes hitting control doesn't work. Yeah, it's a thing. I don't know why. Nothing up here. Let's go catch up to Hendrix.
Kane, we're wrapping up our sweep.
Warlord! Take cover! Get back!
Hendrix! You hit?
No, I got it!
What the hell? Who's shooting?
You guys okay back there?
Agent Kane? I thought I told you to stay up top.
Seemed like you could use some help. Besides, you two made so much noise, every 54i foot soldier's gonna be scrambling to respond. We need to get back on track. We've got to shut down their comms before they figure out what the fuck's going on. Follow me.
After you.
It's locked down. They've routed all comms through a secondary relay.
Can you locate it?
Give me a second. Got it. You should be able to upload the scrambler from there. We'll regroup at the Black Station.
Sounds like a plan. Let's move.
Alright, so, quickly we're gonna go grab some ammo. We don't need to stop at our mobile armory for any good reason. And we've met Rachel Kane, our CIA handler. So, that is actually going to do it for this episode. I know it's a little short after such a long one in the second one. But I don't want to throw too much at us in one go. So, I will see everybody next time. Bye.